Hi everybody, today is September 21st, 2019, 5:45 p.m. It is 81 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. Today I'm going to take you on a walk of 9th Avenue in the neighborhood of Chelsea in Manhattan from 14th Street to 34th Street. This is 14th Street and 9th Avenue. And right at the corner here is the Apple Store. Right now the Apple Store is quite busy due to the launch of the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. And we're going to get this walk started. There you can see inside the Apple Store, long line to buy the new phones. Since the weather is quite warm, there's a lot of people outside right now. Across the street you have the Gansevoort Market. It's also home to a lot of other businesses there. Le Pain Quotidien, L'Occitane, Verizon, there's a steakhouse. This to my left is the famous Starbucks Reserve Roastery Company. It's very, very fabulous on the inside. I'll just step in just for a second so you can see. Pretty incredible, this Starbucks Roastery. If you ever got time, be sure to check it out. It's pretty amazing in here. But I want to get this walk finished, so let's continue on. If I were to go into every single store and poke around, I'll never get this walk finished. Now I'm approaching the Chelsea Market, and across the street is the Google headquarters of New York City. Actually, Google owns the Chelsea Market as well. They recently purchased it for a lot of money. It's also the location of my employer, which is YouTube, right here. We got Chelsea Market in there, which is very, very famous for its many food options and hip fashion and pop-up stores. You can check out one of my many walks throughout the Chelsea Market and other videos I've done. Maybe I'll leave a link to it in the upper right corner with a card. Right there you can see, you can get fruits and vegetables, meat and seafood, baked goods. Lots of great places in there, including one of my favorites, Los Tacos Numero Uno. So let me tell you a little bit about the neighborhood of Chelsea. It's roughly bounded by 14th Street and 34th Street on the northern end, and the southern end is 14th Street, 6th Avenue to the east, and the Hudson River to the west. It's also the location of the High Line, which is right there, just past 10th Avenue. I won't be going there today. A lot of traffic, as you can hear. New York City's the city which never sleeps, partly due to all the traffic and noise. But anyway, it's bounded by the Garment District and Midtown South to the north, the Flatiron District to the east, and the Meatpacking District to the south. Also, parts of Greenwich Village are bordered in Chelsea to the south. Also, Chelsea's famous for a lot of its art galleries, which aren't really located in this portion of Chelsea. Once you get to about 19th Street and start walking west from here, you'll hit many of the art galleries here. On Thursday nights, a lot of the art galleries have new art, and you can even go in there and get some free wine and cheese while you browse the art galleries. To To my left is some public housing projects, the Robert S. Fulton houses. In my practical guide to save money video, I did mention that the art galleries on Thursdays is one of the ways you can save on entertainment by going in there on a Thursday evening and enjoying the art for free. You're not obligated to purchase anything, but it is nice to support with the artists and talk with them about their creations and help spread the word. Also at 27th Street, just past 10th Avenue, is one of my favorite places, the McKittrick Hotel. There is the location of the famous performance Sleep No More. Hesitated there because I wasn't sure if this car was going to stop or not. Safety comes first in New York City. Look both ways before you cross the street. Don't just walk blindly. I did forget, if you're wondering about the origin of the name Chelsea, the neighborhood, it's named after the Royal Hospital Chelsea in London, England. Which, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's a retirement home and a nursing home for about 300 veterans of the British Army. How that came to the New York City neighborhood and became its name, I have no idea, but that's what Wikipedia says. So this neighborhood is primarily residential with some commercial spots mixed in, as you saw before, with the Chelsea Market, the Starbucks Roastery, the Apple Store. The southern section of Chelsea does seem to be the most, have the most activity. It's also famous for its art world, with all the art galleries, like I said, as well as the large LGBTQ population. There is a very wide income disparity between the residents here, with many public housing projects and other affluent residents sometimes even living across the street from each other. But that's just how New York is. 1 in every 21 people walking on the street are millionaires. That's the statistics for New York City. So I'm actually reading up on how Chelsea got its name. There was a retired British major named Thomas Clark who obtained the property of Chelsea, and then he chose the name Chelsea after the retirement homes. So it was his decision why this neighborhood's called Chelsea. Very interesting. Chelsea wasn't always like this. A lot of commercialized areas and some residential areas. It used to be a very, very industrialized area, especially near the Hudson River, the waterfront. There was a lot of railroads, and the High Line was especially notorious there. In fact, in my High Line video, which you can check out, one of the videos I did, I believe it was the one during the winter time, I explained the history, but I said that they called 10th Avenue Death Row because back then they used a lot of the railroads to transport supplies, and because of this there were a lot of pedestrian collisions between the trains and the railroads, they needed cowboys to direct people away from the tracks and to prevent accidents and crashes like that. I believe they call them the urban cowboys or something like that. But that's the history of Chelsea. A lot of the Hudson River piers had a lot of activity, especially on the waterfront. A lot of shipments and goods pass through the area between the piers. In fact, there's an area called Chelsea Piers that's right to the left of here. Now is I see a lot of like luxury ships departing from there, and there's also an entertainment center there. You can go play bowling there. There's a sky rink where you can play hockey. There's also a fitness center there. So this area has changed a lot, definitely. So in recent history, there's actually a theater district that formed in Chelsea, especially on this corner of 23rd Street. This corner, the northwest corner, is the location of the Pike's Opera House. It was demolished in 1960. And now I believe it is a large residential building with scaffolding. The street's very busy, 23rd Street. One of the major crosstown streets. If I were to continue on 23rd Street towards 5th Avenue, I'd hit the Flatiron building. If you want your pictures of scaffolding, you can get a perfect picture here.
I think I should just that universe like super well, deploy like monster size actor, and then transfer that to like ultimately like being able to trade yourself.
So this next block on 24th Street, across the street, is kind of unique because it curves. I don't believe this was the part of the original street grid. This curvature only happened after the buildings were erected. So you can see the street curves over there. There's also a street fair here. A lot of different wares for sale, glasses, cups, different artistic jewelries, paintings. Here's a Chinese restaurant. Also a pet store, the Pet Central. Here's the more residential part of Chelsea. You have a lot more local restaurants here and residential buildings on either side of the street. There's some art for sale, but it's closed right now. Here you have your corner deli and grocery. Here's a very, very nice little coffee shop, the Citizens of Chelsea. Big green sea in the window front. Here's a ramen bar, Junmen Ramen Bar. They have on their billboard #1 veggie ramen, and also a kickboxing place. Now I'm approaching 26th Street. I think those bicyclists are lost. I overheard one of them said, "Where are we going?" And then the little kid was like, "Sorry." I like this little mural. Has some nice places around the area. Chelsea Piers, Macy's Herald Square, Madison Square Garden, Chelsea architecture. Looks like little children may have even designed it. Love these flowers here and butterflies. Welcome back to school. It's September after all. So PS33 is the name of this school. The official opening day was September 5th. And here across the street is the Church of the Holy Apostle. Very, very interesting architecture here. Don't know how old this church is, but I assume it's very old. Here's the little park known as Chelsea Park. There's a Department of Health building right behind this statue. You can actually get some free health services there, such as free STD testing and also I think they do some other testing there too. I'm not really sure. But I do know STD testing is offered there at the Chelsea Health Center. Here's the church again from this angle. I do believe that Chelsea Health Center, they also take appointments for illness checkups too. And it's all free or low cost. Here's a local grocery store and marketplace, Ideal Food Basket. There's a lot of construction going on here. New York City's infrastructure is very, very aged. A lot of the locations of these pipes and cables, they don't even know where they are. It makes it very challenging when they just dig blind and then all of a sudden a shovel hits a water main and then you have a big flood. It's a big problem and a big issue in New York City. I know they've tried to map out the underground of New York City before, but it just proved to be such a difficult feat, if not impossible, that they just gave up. I believe this is 30th Street now. Yep, it's 30th Street, also known as the Lincoln Tunnel approach on this block because it connects to the Lincoln Tunnel to the neighborhood of Weehawken, New Jersey. There's a building for the Hudson Yards neighborhood off in the distance, that big glass building. You can see a lot of the tops of the neighborhood there. This building at the corner of 31st Street is the James Farley Post Office, one of the biggest post offices in New York City, if not the biggest. I believe it is the biggest, but it's actually being converted as another terminal to Penn Station, which I believe won't alleviate any of the nightmares of the underground below, because it's just a exterior renovation of the Penn Station and not a internal reconfiguration of the train tracks, but it is what it is. You can see all the construction happening at this post office. I believe also there is a scene in the video game The Division which passes by this post office, but I've never played this game. I only watched some videos and images of it. Yeah, you can see all the work being done on this post office to make it into another entrance to the train station. I'm guessing they're planning to put the scaffolding ceiling on top here soon. Or maybe they don't need it right now because I don't really see a risk of any construction to my left. It's mostly completed already. At the corner here is the B&H photo and video store. One of my favorite places to get electronics in the city. They're not open on Saturdays. Here's 33rd Street. Here's the northern boundary of Chelsea. I'm actually going to be walking to the number 7 train at 34th Street, Hudson Yards. North of here is the neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen, otherwise known as Midtown West or Midwest. I've done a walk there as well. And if you were to continue walking on 34th Street, you'll hit the Empire State Building. I've done a narrated walk of 34th Street in its entirety. You can check that one out too. I'll leave a link in the upper right corner if I remember. Here's 34th Street. All right, let's continue on.
I thought you were saying for me to take.
Here's Skylight Diner, open 24 hours. This must be a tour group or something. I don't know why there's a big bunch of people here. This brand new complex to my right that's about to open is the Hudson Commons, a mixed office tower and residential building. Here's a building called the Webster Apartments. Here's an avenue in Manhattan that's not named after a numeral. It's called Dyer Avenue. It's actually one of the approaches and exits to the Lincoln Tunnel. Walking in Manhattan, you have all the numeral avenues, such as 1st Avenue, 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, Park Avenue, which used to be called 4th Avenue. But occasionally you get worded streets, such as Madison Avenue, Lexington Avenue, Dyer Avenue. York Avenue is another one on the east side. And then there's also West End Avenue once you get past 59th Street. Actually, a lot of the numeral avenues, they change names once you pass 59th Street. There's also Columbus Avenue and Amsterdam Avenue. And then 8th Avenue becomes Central Park West. Here you see the incredible development and construction of Hudson Yards that's still ongoing. Most of the western section is completed already, but there's still a lot of construction to be completed. Here is 10th Avenue. And here at the corner you can just see how grand this construction is. I remember this plot being a hole in the ground. And then looking over to my left as well. Look at this. Just incredible. There's 10th Avenue looking south and looking north. After you.
Go, dude.
Oh, thank you. This is the problem with New York City scaffolding. It just narrows the sidewalk so much. I don't particularly like walking under here. I actually prefer to walk through the Hudson Yards shopping mall at the corner of 30th Street and then walking inside. That's my preferred method to go around here, but since the construction's ongoing, I just wanted to show you the progress of it. I'm sure once this is all completed, it'll look very nice. That was a stylish car. Here we've got the ice cream trucks playing in Jingle. Here's Hudson Yards, at least the main buildings that are completed. The vessel in the background. It's good to see this area with a lot of activity. There were a lot of doubts when this complex opened if it would survive or not, but just judging from the amount of people today on a Saturday evening, I think it's going to do well. Private business and city and state money have spent a lot of time and resources into making this complex. And it's great to see all these people out. Right now this area is open to traffic. It's very dangerous here when people walk in the middle of the road like this. It didn't used to be like this when it first opened. But now everything is open. That sun is just glowing on the vessel at the perfect angle. They still haven't chosen a name for it, by the way. They were supposed to rename it something else after some public input, but who knows when that's going to be. There have been names all from like beehive or honeycomb or shawarma, spaceship, like upside down pine cone, but nothing's really stuck so far. But anyway, everyone, hope you enjoyed this walk of Chelsea to Hudson Yards along 9th Avenue and then 34th Street. If you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It'll help the YouTube algorithm as well. Share this video with your friends, your family. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all next time in the next video.